Greetings, everyone. This is Brother Bedford, best-selling author, creator, and host of Conversations with Black Millionaire Entrepreneurs and Black America's #1 internet marketing and digital publishing coach, consultant, and strategist. And I want to welcome you back to our next video where we're going to continue going over this major subject of accomplishing more in the next 12 months than in the previous 5 years. Now, in the last video, I promised you that I would share with you the new marketing strategies, the new things that you need to be doing to really get your brand, your name, your business, your products and services out into the marketplace and to really connect with not just a few people, but literally hundreds of thousands and millions of people and potentially billions of people by leveraging the biggest brands on the planet. I'm going to share with you how to do that today. But before we do that, I just want to do a quick recap of what we covered in our last video. We talked about why so many entrepreneurs are struggling and really feeling stuck. Small business owners and entrepreneurs building businesses that they don't like or that they hate. And so we tried to uncover some things to really get them out of that, to move on to the next level. And that really encompassed setting goals. It really focus in, or we tried to narrow in on why you should begin to build a business strategy versus a marketing strategy, because most people that I talk to are just copying other people's marketing strategies and ideas without even giving any weight to if that really is what you want to do to build your business. So the first thing we have to do is begin to focus on a business strategy. Why? Because a business strategy is what drives your marketing strategy. Most of us have it backwards, and then we're wondering why the business is suffering because we're trying to implement a gazillion marketing strategies, but we don't have an overall business strategy, and we're feeling stuck, we're feeling overwhelmed, or we're building businesses that we just can't even stand the sight of when we get up in the morning. And that's not the purpose of a business. You should be happy, you should be working and doing what you love to do and helping and serving as many people as possible. And so let's just do a quick recap. We've already said that business strategy drives marketing strategy, and as I mentioned, the great Kathy Hughes, when I asked her what was the first thing that she said that we should do as entrepreneurs and small business owners, she said we must clearly define what it is that you want to do. We must begin to set some goals. And so that's what we talked about. In the last video, I said that there were three and really 4 points, but I should have said questions, because I think questions help to draw out of you the answers or the solutions that you're looking for. And so I should have said questions instead of points, because these weren't just points of reference. I mean, these were literally the things that we should be uncovering in order for us to build the type of businesses that we want, that would bring us all of the happiness and, of course, the money that we want. So here it is. When we're talking about setting your goals, we talked about number one. That number one question that ties into what Kathy Hughes said is, what am I moving toward? Meaning, what do I really want? What do I want to achieve? What is my goal for my life and my business? The next question is, why do I want it? Which is what's driving you. When you look at that question, why do I want it? That is going to be the fuel that keeps you going when you run into hurdles, obstacles, ups and downs, and challenges or setbacks in your business and in your personal life. If you don't have a big enough why, when these obstacles come, you'll give up and you won't pursue your goals and objective with the same vigor that you would if you truly had a big enough why. The third question that you should ask yourself is, how will I get there? What's my strategy? This is where we begin to develop that business strategy, because now you have to really think about the actual steps that you would take, the actions that you will take to achieve those goals. Now, there are two great benefits to asking yourself these three questions. And if you've gone through this exercise and asked yourself these three questions and really dug deep for the serious answers, not some surface answers where you can just move on to the next level. I just want more money. That's not a big enough why. I just want a bigger house. Those are benefits of doing what you should be doing or what it is that you really want to do. So the two great benefits of asking yourself these three big questions is, They will give you direction and a purpose for your action so that you'll stay on point. And the other great benefit is that it'll help you to figure out a plan. And when we say help you to figure out a plan, it's not just figuring out a plan by yourself. It's also thinking about the resources and the people and the tools that you'll need to achieve your goals, to achieve your purpose, to really implement those action steps that you'll need to take. Because every single one of us would like to think that we can do this thing by ourselves. But that's not true. You're going to need some assistance. So when you're thinking about these questions and getting direction and purpose for your actions, it'll help you to figure out a plan and begin to think deeply about the people and the resources that you need. Now, most people that I've encountered, they find it difficult to go through this exercise by themselves. And so you may need to try to find someone that can help you to really dig deep enough to uncover these answers, to begin to set up your plan of action, to begin to develop your strategy, and even begin to look at the resources and the people and the tools that you'll need to begin to incorporate in order for you to achieve these goals. So think about that seriously, that you may need some help doing this if you can't do this yourself. The next great question that you should ask when you're beginning to go through your strategy and your plan and really begin to think about marketing. Now we're going to start talking about marketing is, who do I want to serve? Who is your target market? That is so critical. Most entrepreneurs are trying to serve everybody and anybody and end up not serving anyone and not being worth any value to anyone, or not perceived as having any value, because we're just too broad, too generic, not really hitting specifics, not really speaking the language of our target market. So once you have the target market figured out, who you want to serve, and you drill deep into that, you'll find out what do they want and what it is that they need. And when you begin to develop your message, your product, and your services based upon what they want and what they need, you'll find it is much easier to do that, and it's much easier to generate income when you're doing business that way, instead of you trying to force something on a market that you don't even know that they want or that they even have the desire for. So that is really the area that I think, to sum up that first video, is that you should have clear goals and a vision for your business in order for you to move forward. Before you start to implement any marketing tactics or tricks or Facebook and Twitter and all of these different things, you need to understand clearly what are your goals and your vision for yourself and your business, and then you'll begin to see if any of those tools, resources, and people begin to make sense for you. So now that we've covered that with that brief recap, now let's go into what I call the new marketing strategies to accomplish more in the next 12 months than in the previous 5 years. And this is really a big idea. Most people, this may go over their heads, but some of you, this is going to resonate, and you're going to say, wow. If I've ever been stuck, if I've ever been frustrated trying to do things, I never thought about implementing some of these strategies to help me grow. Some of you are using some of these things, but not to the degree that you should, and you're not having the impact that you should have. But if you begin to use these strategies or this big idea, I don't like to put it in a box like saying strategies. That sounds like some of the things that everyone is saying. This is really a big idea and a new way of marketing your message, your mission, your brand, your products, your services. And so let's get into this thing. If you look at this next slide right here, we're talking about Google. You'll see Google, YouTube, Apple, LinkedIn, Facebook, Amazon, and Twitter. Arguably, and I would probably not argue, depending upon what planet you live on, you know that you're looking at some of the biggest brands, not just in this country, but in the entire world. Apple is the largest brand in the world. And what I'm getting ready to share with you is a way for you to not only ethically, but they want you to come in and engage and take away some of their clients and customers to generate leads, clients, and customers for your business. These brands want you to do that, but most people are not using these brands to do that. And I'm going to share with you exactly how to do that. And in fact, I would say that if you're not thinking of orientating your mind to think about leveraging these billion-dollar brands to grow your business from this point forward into the future, your business is probably going to end up deteriorating to the point where it's non-existent, because this is the new way of, that's why I call it the new marketing methods. The old ways just don't work anymore. Now, before I give you the strategies or share with you how to steal these customers and clients from these different platforms, I just need to ask you, what business are you in? Most people, when I ask this question, the thing that comes to mind is that, I'm in the skincare business, or I'm in the shoe business, or whatever it is that you do. That's what most people will say. Now, some who are a little bit more savvy and seasoned would say, well, my business is marketing, or I'm in the people business, which is absolutely correct. And I myself would have given that answer a few years ago. But nowadays, I understand clearly the business that I'm in. I'm in the content business now. My job is to educate and entertain and possibly even create a show around my ideas and concepts, things that would help to inspire my target market. Because nowadays, you have to show your prospects and customers that you care and you have their best interests at heart. And you only do that by providing content and giving demonstrations of what it is that you say is the truth, or what is the best. If you have a product or service and you say it's the best, people aren't buying that. They want a demonstration. They need third party endorsements. They need to know that there are other people who are working with you or tried it and they are having success. And so the more I want to say, the better you get at creating compelling and engaging content, the better you get at educating and entertaining and engaging and interacting with your audience, the better you'll do in business in this year and beyond. Those who ignore this fact, they're going to continue to feel stuck, frustrated, and overwhelmed. And my job is to show you the simple steps and tools to create content, to promote your business, your products, your services, and your brand, and to leverage these billion-dollar brands without having to be a tech genius. Most people fall to the wayside, or they fear engaging in all of this because they feel, I'm not tech savvy, Brother Bedford. I am just not the tech guru. And I'm here to tell you that you don't have to be the tech guru to do exactly what I'm sharing with you. And I'm going to prove it, because here's something you may not realize. You see that thing right there? That thing that's probably less than 12 inches away from you right now. You're probably even looking at it right now while you're listening to me, or right next to the computer. You're looking at your mobile phone. You're scrolling through it, who called, or maybe you're even on Facebook or Twitter from your mobile phone right now. That device that you have is literally a world-class studio in your pocket. You can create video right there, high definition video that rivals $10,000 cameras that we used to purchase a few years ago. Right now, with your mobile device that you're looking at, by now you're looking at it because I'm drawing your attention to it. You can create high definition video to educate, to entertain, to train, to teach people right from that phone that you have right there. Now, if you took just a decent quality microphone, you can plug it right into that same device and create compelling audio. I mean, literally, you can create audio and share it with the entire world from that phone. You can create video and share it with the entire world from that phone. Now, why is that so important? Let me just give you some facts to back up what I'm saying. There are over 7 billion mobile accounts on the planet right now, expected to be 15 billion by the end of this year. There are 2 to 3 billion smartphones in use, 220 million smart TVs, and expected to be 300 million by the end of the year. There's 1 billion tablets in use, expected to be 2 billion by the end of the year, actually by the halfway point of this year. And they've been outselling just your normal desktop and laptops by millions every year, and it's growing. There's still 3 billion connected computers all over the planet where people are just connected. We're truly in the age of what I call the age of connectivity, where everyone is really just one click away from being engaged or seeing or hearing of someone that's literally thousands and thousands of miles away from you. 96 million people drive to work every day, and 20% are listening to streaming services, including podcasts. Right now, people are dialing in. In 2015, they're expecting all of the newer models to become equipped where people can tune in to the podcast of their choice. I mean, I've been saying it for the last couple of years that cable television and the regular radio industry and the regular publishing industry, it is dying. It is dead. So the same things that Amazon has done to the publishing business and iTunes has done to the music business, now you're seeing this same thing happening with the radio and syndication, and people are really being selective of what they want to listen to. And we'll go further into that in a little bit. But it's safe to say that over half of the world's population is connected in some way. Now, what if you can get those brands that we talked about, these most valuable brands in the world, to promote you? What would happen if Google was promoting you, Apple was promoting you, Amazon was promoting you, and you're using Facebook and Twitter to the right way to where you're getting your message and your products and services out to people? What would that do for your business? Let me just give you a few more stats to even let you know that even just being in those places, how beneficial they can be to your business. Because Apple has 500 million credit cards on file. They already have 1.3 billion user accounts, and those 1.3 billion people spend an average of $330 a year just being in that marketplace. They have nearly 1.5 billion podcast subscribers. Now think about that. Look at the benefit to you just being in a marketplace that has 1.5 billion subscribers, or even just a place that has 500 million credit cards on file where 1.3 billion users are looking to spend at least $330 a year. iTunes in 2013 had 125 million people listening to podcasts, and in 2014 it almost doubled to 200 million, and already they're expecting by the halfway point of 2015 350 million people to be listening to podcasts, especially since all of the newer model vehicles are coming equipped for people to plug directly into their favorite podcasts. Google and YouTube and the Android devices, they have over 425 million Gmail users, 300 million Google Plus accounts, 1 billion YouTube subscribers, and every day 4 million videos are being viewed every day on YouTube. Amazon has 220 million credit cards on file, where they have over 20 million Prime users who spend an average of $1,224 a year. This is their annual members, their Prime members, who still spend this additional money in the Amazon marketplace. Facebook has 1.23 billion active monthly users. Yahoo has 281 million accounts. Twitter, 243 active monthly users, and that's million. LinkedIn, 277 million. And according to Pew Research, 73% of the human population is engaged in social media. And if you add mobile phones to that mix, you get close to 80% of the human population all over the world using mobile devices, social media, and other forms of engagement online. As you can see, the internet has changed the way that business is done. Not just business. Governments are being toppled by people using Twitter and other social media platforms from all over the world, drawing interest to their subject matter or warning people about natural disasters. And so it is important that your message is there. Your product, your service, your brand is able to be viewed on every laptop, desktop, computer, mobile device, television, or in the car on the planet. These big brands want you to create compelling, engaging, and creative content, and in exchange for that, they'll allow you to own and engage and sell to their customers. Now, I hear the skeptics out there saying, why would they allow you to do that? Because Apple sells more movies, music, and television shows and phones the more people engage with Apple. Google sells more ads when people use more Gmail, Google Plus, and YouTube. Amazon sells more books and other products. Facebook, they sell ads. And I can go on with LinkedIn and everyone else who's getting into selling ads. Now, how do you partner with these companies? What do they want? I've already told you. They want new, engaging, interesting, and compelling content. This is how you partner with them. Now, let me ask you a question. Who has a MySpace account? Don't laugh at me. Some of you saying I do. Some of the music people, because it's kind of started off being the 800-pound gorilla in the room, but now they're not that. And in fact, Facebook beat them. They lost the battle to Facebook. How did they lose the battle to Facebook, or why did they lose the battle to Facebook? Facebook focused on people engaging, consuming, educating, and being entertained by compelling content. MySpace didn't do that, and Facebook crushed MySpace in this space. And most people don't even have MySpace accounts nowadays. You very rarely even hear people speak about it. Now, Amazon, Google, iTunes, and YouTube, looking at this, they realized this. They saw the challenge that MySpace and some of the earlier social media platforms and different internet marketing mediums were encountering, and they knew that they had to create platforms where people can engage, where people can consume and be educated and be entertained. These companies want to hand over their paying customers to you, and they'll do it for you to create engaging, compelling content, because that keeps people on those platforms. Now, here's the challenge for most of us. There aren't too many people that can show you how to create compelling content quickly that can be watched or heard or even read on every device. And that's what I'm hoping to share with you today. Now, all you really need to do this, though, this is how simple it is. All you really need is 3 easy things that you need to succeed. Just those 3 things right there. That you, number 1, you like to help people. Number 2, you can answer questions. And number 3, you love to share ideas and knowledge. Here's the formula to get anything you want. Number 1, you must get traffic. If you want to make money for your business, and this is where a lot of people are suffering, you got to get some traffic. You got to get people coming to where you are, coming to your website. You have to capture leads. This is where so many people drop the ball. We've become such a transactional society that we're only thinking about just transacting with people. And if they don't buy on the first thing, then we're on to the next one. And so we never capture the leads. And what do you do with those leads? You follow up. And then what happens with following up? After you follow up, you're hoping to convert. You want conversion to become a client or a customer or become a follower, whatever the case may be. But this is the formula, basic formula. I know it seems basic to some people, but we wanted to drill down on it because it is so important. Now, the moment that you've been waiting for, these new marketing strategies, or as I like to say, this new marketing idea, this concept to help you accomplish more in the next 12 months than in the previous 5 years. You've heard me mention these major brands. Now let me just dive a little bit deeper on how you can get traffic, leads, and sales from YouTube or Google. Now, it says LiveCasting. That's a term that we're using in some of the internet marketing circles on how you create what some people call webinars. Some people call it webinars or just video streaming. But these live events that you can put on, live webinars, these live casts to where you're educating and training people on Google and YouTube will allow you to drive traffic to your site. You're able to capture leads. And then, of course, you're able to make sales. Most people have heard of Google Hangouts, but they really don't know what that is. And that's just a platform that will allow you to engage with people all over the planet. Potentially billions of people, millions of people can watch you live on YouTube, streaming directly into their homes or to their smart televisions or online. And you can educate and train and even sell your products and services. Most people call these webinars. Again, some people call them live casts because most times when it's used in our space, it's used to sell something, where there's a live event where people can tune in and they can see either the product work or whatever the case may be. Now, this is something that is not new. We've been seeing infomercials on television every Saturday and Sunday in our homes for years. And you're probably saying, well, why are they still on? Because they work. People want to see demonstrations. People want to see the people, and they want to engage. And now I'm telling you that right now, by you looking at me right now on your computer or listening to me, you have everything you need to go and do a Google Hangout 4 to 5 minutes from now. Open up an account, set up your Google account or tie it into your Google Plus is really what they want you to do. It's not significant to do that. But now you can create videos from your cell phone and blast them on YouTube. Many of us see that, but have you thought about using it to educate, to entertain, to drive traffic, to create leads, and even convert those people and make sales? So live casting, you must get involved with doing Google Hangouts or live online events, or even pre-record videos answering questions, as I mentioned earlier, creating compelling content. Here's a way for you to think about creating compelling content before I move forward. Just think about the 5, the 10, the 15, or the 20 most pressing things that your target market, remember we talked about target market, think about what it is that they're suffering from. And now you pull out your mobile device, turn it around, and you begin to answer their questions. And the number one question I get asked by my potential clients or customers is whatever that question is, and now you give the answer. It doesn't have to be long. It could be not like this long video. It can just be a short 3 to 5 minute video where you're giving an answer. If you did 10 of them, that means you'd have 10 videos. Then now you can put those on YouTube. And now YouTube being ranked in Google, if you use the right keywords, people that are searching for those answers. Remember, this is a search engine with Google, and they're searching for those answers, and now your video comes up, and now your video begins to share the answer to their problems. Now at the end of your video, what do they want? What are you going to do anyway? You're going to tell them, if you want more, go to www. whatever your website is, or come by whatever your storefront is. But now you're beginning to educate. And hopefully you have the personality, or you're learning how to entertain while you're doing it. And then, of course, more importantly, it can be engaging because you can ask for their feedback, to post comments below, and then now you can post back to them. Man, this is just such a powerful tool that did not exist years ago. So live casting or webinars or live streaming must become a part of your marketing in the future. Podcasting. I've been beating this horse for a long time now, and it's starting to get traction. A lot of the major periodicals and newspapers and business magazines are proclaiming the return of the podcast, and how so many people are going into podcasting to build their audience, generate leads, obviously generate traffic, and of course raise their profile and their brand, their platform, so that now they're not just someone that's speaking, they have their own show that people can subscribe to for free. And here's the beautiful part about podcasting that most people don't know. And let me see if I have this on the next slide. Yeah, it's right here. Your podcast, your message, whatever you're delivering on your podcast, once a person subscribes, it's delivered to them 100% of the time, to the subscribers, when they subscribe to your channel or your podcast. And podcasts can be either audio or video. Now, let me go back a little bit. Now, let's look at this YouTube or this Google Hangout that you created answering those questions. Did you know that you can take that same video, slice it up, and create a podcast, a video podcast that will be distributed through iTunes? Or you can take the audio off that same video and create an audio podcast. So you don't have to create a whole bunch of content and do things over and over. If you started here and created the content once, that compelling, engaging content once, you can take that and repurpose it. Now you not only have your Google Hangouts or the YouTube videos, now you have podcasts, audio and video, and now you take it a step further. Well, first, let me say this about Apple. Before we go one step further, Apple will promote you, we mentioned it earlier, to its 1.5 billion subscribers. I've already mentioned that they'll distribute your podcast on their website for free. Again, where there's 1.5 billion people in there searching for content, searching for subject matter, searching for how-to advice. Right there in there. And of course, once you do that and you build up enough followers, there's a tremendous opportunity to generate revenues from your podcast through sponsors and ad revenues. Now, this is what I was getting ready to jump to. As you can see, I'm extremely excited about this, because you can take that same content that you created on your Google Hangout or from your videos that you streamed live or that you had on YouTube or that you streamed live through a Hangout or YouTube Live, and now take that same content, strip the audio, and have a podcast and even a video podcast. But now you can take that same content and get it transcribed, and now you have yourself a book. You can take that book, and now Amazon, there are more people. There's still the number one gift for Christmas every year is more and more Kindle reading devices. And now the publishing industry is reeling because Amazon has become the number one marketplace for books. And so now think about taking that same content, getting it transcribed into your book, and now that book being sold on Amazon, now where you're getting just a few pennies for every book that you sell, if you try to get it published through a regular an original publishing house, which we know has become extremely hard nowadays to do that. But now to just upload your book now in a Kindle version, and you're able to receive 70% commissions. Not only will you be able to do that, you generate your own book selling website from there. And now you'll be able to gain access to their 300 million customers who are already in there. And if you've ever purchased anything from Amazon yourself, if you bought a book and your book is similar, or the book that you bought is similar to another book, it would tell you that people who bought this book also bought this book. Or even if it's just a product, they develop these profiles. So that means that they'll help to promote your book if it's in certain subject matter, and you use certain strategies to get it ranked high, and of course using the right title and all of those things, that those things come into play. But the point I want to drive here is that this marketplace will get you access to over 300 million customers. It'll allow you to promote and monetize your book, and then of course to have links in your books to drive them back to your websites and your other products, to where now you can turn those book buyers into qualified leads for some of your other things. And if you've ever tried to just do searches on particular authors and things like that, you'll find that when they're doing searches, their books come up. And so Amazon is becoming another powerful search engine, and they give you your own author's free book selling website once you write a book. So now you have a book that you can optimize right there in Amazon, your own web page that helps to drive traffic to all of your other sites, promote your events, all types of things that you can do. Now I want to take a short break and just take a breath and want you to think about that. Being able to partner with Google and YouTube by creating compelling content with videos, taking that same content, creating podcasts that you can have in iTunes, the Apple iTunes store, and having billions of people having access to that. Taking that same content now and having your book and doing the right strategies, some of the marketing strategies that I help some of my clients with, to help them to become best-selling authors, so that now they're positioned better in their marketplace. But now they're partnering with Amazon, taking advantage of the traffic from Amazon, iTunes, Google, and YouTube. How powerful is that? And here's the best part. All of this can be done for free. You're not even paying for any traffic here yet. Now let's go to the next steps. Social casting is what we call this. As you can see, let me recap real quick, just to make sure that we drill down on these names and it's not confusing. We talked about what some would consider webinars, but instead of using some of the paid services like GoToWebinar or GoToMeeting and all of those places, Google will allow you to do that for free using Google Hangouts. And then they also have another service that will allow you to stream, and it's called YouTube streaming. But LiveCasting, to be able to be on camera, create videos, create online events that have people, billions, potentially billions of people join you online. We talked about podcasting, to now where you can take that same content and have your own online radio show or television show. And before anybody start hitting me talking about, or when I say hitting me, we're talking about emailing me, talking about, well, what about Blog Talk Radio? There's nothing wrong with Blog Talk Radio. It's fine. You can do that. But I would have to ask you to think about, does Blog Talk Radio have 1.5 billion subscribers that are looking for you in certain categories? Not necessarily. They're just not. I mean, you can do them, but they're the 800-pound gorilla in the room is iTunes. And then, of course, we already talked about book casting. So we're looking at live casting, podcasting, and now bookcasting, where we're taking that same content. It doesn't have to be video. You can create audio first and have it transcribed. This is the easiest way that I can think of to create a book, answering questions, providing solutions to people, and having that transcribed and turning it into your book that people can download and purchase or get delivered to their Kindle devices or any reader. Again, when we say Kindle, when you have a book on Amazon and it's a Kindle version, it's just you know how we change names of things. Any device can download a Kindle book. As we always say, there's an app for that. So any device, whether it's an iPhone, an Android device, can download your laptop, your tablet, and read your books. And that's where people are reading now, on these mobile devices. And now you take that. Now we're talking about creating that same message. Can you imagine now having those videos, and now what we call social casting? Now, where people have been using Facebook to put up whatever it is they're putting up and asking questions or just certain pictures and things like that. Now, what if you've created this compelling content? Now you're blasting it out to all of your social networks, where you have links on Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn or some of the other places, and now Meetup, and now you're getting that information out. But now what they're seeing your videos. They're seeing even some of those videos we mentioned, having it transcribed into a book, but those can be articles or blog posts, not necessarily your book. And now you're posting links to that. So now when you have that traffic out in the social media, now people are clicking on those links in Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, all of these other social places, and they're coming back to your site. Hopefully that's your whole purpose. You want to drive traffic, you want to turn them into leads, and then you want to follow up with them, and then of course finally you want to make sales to them. So that's the way to use social media, where you're social casting compelling and engaging and educational content out that people can absorb, and they want to know more about you, and they want to find you. This is how you blast your videos and those images to these multi-billion-dollar networks for free. And as we mentioned, probably the most powerful point of this is that 73% of the human population are using these social networks, but they're accessing them on their mobile phones, their mobile devices. This is how they're doing it. But here's the challenge. I would say less than 10% of all businesses have mobile competitive websites or ways to capture these leads when people are searching. So most people are searching through their mobile devices, and your site doesn't look that great, or the message that you're giving. This is why you want to drive them to places where they can view your video and things like that that are compatible with their mobile devices. Now here's the best part. Why not use those mobile phones to capture those leads, to capture that traffic, by having a way for them to sign up to your list, to engage with you, to have access to your videos, your books, or your podcast, by them just entering their name and email, or texting you their name and email right there on their mobile device. Here's the beautiful part about what we call mobile casting, is that now you're able to capture all of these different leads from people either entering their name and email or texting you from their desktop, their tablet, their mobile phone, or just typing in a short code. You've probably seen this, where people say if you just text hot to whatever number, when you do that, that means that person, they're capturing your data, your mobile phone number, to be able to connect with you and follow up with you. You've seen the QR codes where people can just scan their phones over a particular code and automatically be redirected to a website or video or things like that. And of course, people can always pick up the phones and call in their name and email. That's one way of doing it, but that's kind of, and people, if they got the phone and they're ready to text, they're ready to text. What you want to be able to do is follow up immediately through these same mediums, to be able to capture their name and email, but give them that compelling content and other things that you have that would help to educate them and train them. This is truly the way to build your list. If you ask anybody who's in internet marketing or online and they have a sustainable business, they have a list of people that they can communicate with on a regular basis. The mere fact that you're watching this video, and hopefully you stayed with me this long, is because you're on my list. You've either signed up for either one of my videos, my webinars, my teleseminars, or you've purchased a product from me or a book or something like that, and this is how, or you've texted me and this is how I'm following up with you and giving you what I'm hoping is content that is compelling, it's educational, it's training, it's beneficial for you. You have to think about doing these things in your business. So just to go back real quick, and I'll just go through them because I want you to see these things as we're going through them. The new marketing, the things that you need to do, and it's really just 5 key areas that we're focusing on. Is creating compelling content via video, live casting. We're talking about podcasting, where you have your own online show, whether it's audio and video, and you're sharing that compelling content, answering questions, solving problems. Of course, taking that same content, solving problems, answering questions via your books, which again allows your, who would you rather do business with? Some with that comes to you with a business card, a bland business card, or someone who's an Amazon best-selling author. You see the difference there? A person who's an Amazon best-selling author can charge more for whatever services that you have. These are just powerful tools. Then, of course, now you're not just posting pictures of the cat, dog, and your new car up on Facebook and Twitter and things like that. No, now you're broadcasting, what we call social casting. And when I say social cast, that means once we create this compelling content, we're not randomly sending it out. We're creating, or let me rephrase that. We're not just creating random content and just posting it. No, we're creating this compelling content. When we say social casting, that means we're distributing that same content out to all of these different platforms so that people can see you, get used to you, learn of your brand, learn of your business, learn of your products and services. And so social casting should be a part of an overall marketing strategy. Instead of you thinking that Facebook is the savior, it should be a part or a way that you're reaching them to get them more engaged with you. And then, of course, lastly is mobile casting. If you're not capturing leads on your mobile devices nowadays, when you're out speaking, when you're out, if you're doing trade shows, to have a way for people to text their name and email, or go to a website and type in their name and email, so that you can build probably your number one asset in your business will be your list. I can't begin to tell you how many people have said that if you take all of the buildings, the computers, everything else, as long as I have my list, I can rebuild my business in a matter of days. And so that's what you want to do. Generate traffic, capture leads, follow up, and then, of course, continue to give them compelling content to increase your conversion rate so that people become clients and customers instead of just leads. So I hope that's been helpful. I know this video has been kind of long, but I wanted to just get all of that out to you. These are the strategies or the methods that I'm using this year. This is what my clients are using. And so I'm strongly encouraging you that you try to find a way to incorporate this new way of marketing into your business, because if you don't, your marketing is going to struggle. It's going to suffer, which in turn your business will begin to struggle and suffer. In the next video, I'm going to share with you the one thing. There's one thing that I think you must do in 2015 in order to implement all of these things that we discuss. If you do this one thing, I think your burdens will be lifted, your business will be more fun, and you'll have an easier time of incorporating all of these different strategies and different things that we talked about. And I'm going to share that with you in the next video. So once again, this has been your Brother Bedford, and I hope this has been beneficial for you, and I look forward to talking with you in the very next video. Take care.